Alchemist. Today, in this video, we're going to talk about the difference between this new version of the game and the previous one. First, like all the players know, Alchemy is a game where distance evaluation is very important. There is no measure of any kind before the action declaration. First, you declare your action, then you measure if it's possible. In this new edition, we give the opportunity to play with measurement at any time for people who like to be sure within their range. The point standard. In the first version, we used to play with 180 points. In this new edition, the main format is based on a 200 points list with the opportunity to play 2 heroes. A good way to renew the list building. There are 2 sizes of game table, 24 by 24 inches and 36 by 36 inches. If you play with 180 or 200 points, the legal size will be 24 by 24 inches. If you want to play bigger battles in Moria, you can play on a map of 36 by 36 inches with 300 points. In this new edition, you can play with more terrains, offering you to play more immersive and balanced game. On a 24 by 24 inch map, you can play up to 10 terrains with a minimum of 6. The placement of the terrain is alternate, and you must place one on your side of the map, then one on your opponent's side, and so on. When the 6th terrain is set, it is possible to stop adding more. In this case, your opponent can place the last one. In this edition, all the terrains are impassable. It means now there's no way to go through them, and you will have to move around them. In the first edition, you should place Alchemist resources on the terrain. It's not the case anymore, as Alchemist resources rules have been changed. We'll focus on that later. We simplify the rules about the lines of sight. Now, miniatures can't see through other miniatures or terrains which are the same size as them. As most of the miniatures are size 2, they don't see through terrains or other miniatures of size 2. There are a lot of small changes about the shooting in the game to make it more instinctive. In the previous edition, miniatures and terrains could give you cover. There is no cover anymore. Now they are obstacles. It means that everything between the shooter and the target is considered as an obstacle. If the shooter succeeds to hit the target, we will offset the damage on them to the left for each obstacle on the line. And if the obstacle is in a 5-inch range of the shooter, it doesn't count as an obstacle. Close range shooting rules are also unified, as it's 5 inches for everyone now. You still can shoot on a fight, but the target will do a cover test according to its health status, while white device if in white, yellow device if in yellow. You will have bonuses or malices on the roll, depending on the size of the miniature. The bigger it is, the harder the roll is. Another change is about the reaction movement. Before, when a miniature got shot, it could engage the shooter with its walk characteristic. Now it's a charge, using the charge characteristic, giving you more opportunities. One of the biggest modifications of the game is about the alchemy itself. The alchemists start the game with all their stones and components. So now, they don't need to collect the alchemist resources and can use their formulas from the beginning of the game. When they don't have any more resources to use their formula, they can get close to a terrain with an alchemist resource and spend 1 action point to collect it. The alchemist can collect stones or components or a mix of both. They also now have the opportunity to gain an in-game effect instead of collecting the resources. If the resource is fire, they will inflict 1 damage when they use a formula. If it's air, they will be able to prevent an opposing alchemist from upgrading a formula. If it's water, they will be able to increase their formula range. And if it's earth, they will be able to add 1 to their defense characteristic and prevent themselves from losing concentration until their next activation. The alchemy is now back at the heart of the game, and the alchemists are stronger than ever. In this new edition, there's also a set of advanced rules. These rules, mainly for terrains, allowed you to get an even more immersive experience by using 8 and 16 terrains. The distance between the terrains is 2 inches. And instead of just placing your terrain, you can add specific effects to them, with a maximum of 2 by players. In these advanced rules, terrains have movement and vision rules which are related to the terrain. And the rules browse a large range of effects, making the terrain able to heal you, or, on the other side, to give you malices if you're too close. The advanced rules also cover the command cards and the secret objectives. The command cards are designed for the friendly game. You start the game with an amount of command points that you can use to play the command cards. The secret objective cards are designed for competitive play and used mostly in tournaments. They describe specific conditions you have to meet in order to gain additional points in the tournament. In a tournament, if you win the game, you will gain 6 points. If you lose, you gain 1 point. And if it's a draw, you gain 3 points. You can add the points of your secret objectives if you succeed the conditions. The sum of all these points will give you your position on the ranking of the tournament. There are also new advanced rules for multiplayer games. It is possible to play up to 4 players with different point values on a map of 24 inches or 36 inches. The specificities on the player games cover the set of the game, the progress of the game, and the way you play Alchemy. Last but not least, this new edition has been the opportunity to rebalance all the game and the factions. Some indexes have been revised or modified to give the game a fresh start.